Football is back in our lives. All is right with the world. Unless, of course, you are a Jets or Giants fan. In that case, you're just getting kicked in the taint relentlessly until you die. I am joined, as always, by JD, by Chewbacca. This is The Forced Fumble. You can follow us on YouTube at The Forced Fumble or on Instagram at The Forced Fumble as well. So despite the Jets losing another nail biter and the Giants being equally terrible, more terrible.
Another nail biter. It's must-see cinema.
It was. Hey, this was by all accounts a great game. Taking my passion out of it, it was a great fun game to watch, right? But still, they pulled me in. I got emotional. But guys, how did you feel about finally having, after all these months of anticipation? Was it great for you? Was it great for you as it was for me for at least a couple of hours?
I had two things to kick off the season. One is a surprise, one is not a surprise. The first, which is not a surprise at all, I didn't hit a single parlay. So no shock there. Welcome back, NFL.
Have you ever hit one? I've never hit one. Have you hit one before?
Yeah, it happens. But it's got to be low stakes and pretty obvious for me to hit them. Like Travis Kelce anytime TD is part of the leg, right? It's like you're going to hit that.
Over 50 yards passing or something.
Pretty much.
Win 50 cents or whatever it is.
But the thing that did surprise me about this NFL season was my wife told me, like at 1 p.m., we just got in the door. She says, "You become one with the couch today. I want you to melt into it and enjoy this like first day of football."
Oh,
what's better than that?
It's heaven.
What's better than that? I mean, unless she's bringing you like jalapeno poppers and blowjobs. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Poppers, jalapeno poppers, and blowjobs.
That's next level. But your wife's always been kind of like that, right? She's always been cool with that.
Kind of like what? What did you just say? Kind of like what?
He called her a hooah.
Especially those jalapeno poppers, man.
No, I think he means she's always been cool. Like, hey, you do you.
Oh, okay. He wasn't calling my wife a slut. Okay, well, yes. Yes, she's always been great. Mrs. JD.
Yeah. It's tough though. I do feel a little guilty because I'm constantly on the move, 3 kids here and there playing Uber essentially. And then I'm sitting there on the couch for like 4 hours at a time. So I feel the need to get up and walk around. Like I pretend like I'm doing something, but I'm really not. It's just a commercial between plays. So we're going to get to a little bit later. We're going to talk about our L's of the week. So whether it's a team, whether it's a coach, whether it's some other entity related to football, who our L's of the week are. We're going to try to do this on a fairly regular basis. But Jets and Giants, a lot of people hopefully tune in for Jets and Giants talk. For me, the Jets and the Giants are 2 losers. I mean, let's be honest. I'm a big fat loser right now. Been losers for quite a while now. But they're 2 different types of losers for me. Because the Jets are the type of loser who will sell us on hope, right? They're the ones who beef up their LinkedIn profile and make them seem like they put like visionary under their friggin' headshot. Like you're not a visionary. You're very average and you're lucky to be employed at all. Whereas the Giants are like, they're showing up at the door, the date, and they're just like, I haven't showered. I have no money. I'm in between jobs. Like, are we going to do this or what? Like, this is what you see is what you get. They're not trying to sell their fan base on like, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to compete. We're just trying to keep our head above water. And Chewbacca, you don't agree?
I got to disagree. So I think only the Jets fan base are the ones that are duped. I think all of us look like, oh my God, they just signed a 41-year-old guy coming off Achilles surgery. They think they're walking to the Super Bowl, these douchebags. And so that's how that played out. So You guys get hooked. The Giants, I disagree because like I've done some research, all right? So the Giants, 22, 23, 24, preseason, 5-4. They won 44% of their preseason games. Over the last 3 seasons, they've won 27% of their games. They just scored 100 some odd points in the preseason this year. They scored 6 points today. So the Giants, if anything, are the ones giving their, like at least the Carolina Panthers know how to do preseason right. They suck ass in the preseason. They're 22% they've won over the last 3 preseasons, not counting this one. And their last 3 seasons, they've won 27% of their games. So at least they're not giving their fans a false sense of hope. The Giant fans, I think, are coming in sticking their chest out this season, being like, "Oh, we could possibly be world beaters. We just scored 100 some odd points in preseason, which means nothing." And then they put up a 6 points today. So
But who do you think the fans are legitimately looking at this preseason stuff and saying, "Oh, like that's fooling them into thinking that there's some hope that isn't actually there"?
I
you've
have a
heard
friend
me
who I
listen.
had this exact conversation with, and yes.
Really?
Yeah, short answer is yes.
If
That's
you've been listening
wild.
to the if you've been listening to the talk radio, Giant fans have been kind of sticking out their chest a little bit about like, hey, look, the season we know we've got the worst schedule, the hardest schedule, blah blah blah. But I like what I see so far. I like what I see so far. And then fast forward to today, 6 points. They've scored 6 points. Six. Last year they were good enough to have 290 yards a game, which was good enough for 30th in the NFL. They were 60 yards below that today.
I follow the Onion, and one of my favorite headlines was "Complete moron draws conclusion from preseason game,"
Fair, fair. I
which
don't ever
is
put that
which is
much
saying a
stock.
lot.
I don't ever put that much stock into it, but I feel like people want to hold on to hope,
Yeah,
whether it
you got to have some kind of hope. I mean, Brian Daboll, coach of the Giants, he has to be hoping beyond hope that Wilson can do something, can galvanize this team into winning a handful of games they probably shouldn't, and then it's a question of what happens with Dart. When does Dart play? Does he play this season at all? I'm sure Giants fans are already shouting with megaphones for him to play because he's the young, exciting player who did well in the preseason, as you said, Jay. So when do you think that's happening, if at all, this year?
As an outsider who looks at this, I think it would be foolish to try to out Dart with that offensive line in its current state. I don't see that as a good idea to do to a young quarterback. Saying that as a Chicago fan who's done that multiple times through the
Yep.
decades, or seen the organization do that. But to your point, Depro, in typical New York fashion, I see online on Twitter, etc., the Giants fans calling for Dart at halftime. So I don't know that the problem is Dart. I think the problem might be Dable.
Table or Shea.
Yeah.
We were talking offline before a little bit, and look, again, one game does not make a season, but look at what Daniel Jones just did. Daniel
Do
Jones
we
was
have
up.
to?
He was up 30-0. Playing well. I think he might have passed and ran for a touchdown early. And I think ownership is probably going to say, no, our shiny new toy that you just drafted, in the first round, you're not going to necessarily get to just trot him out there. You haven't built an offensive line. You haven't proved that you're the quarterback whisperer that we thought you were. This is probably going to be your last year, especially if Daniel Jones has that Sam Darnold type of season that he had last year for the Vikings and they sniff or get into the playoffs. I think Dable and Shane are both gone.
Let's talk a little bit about gambling. I know we do a little bit of that. We like to dabble a little bit. Specifically, just when I thought it was out, it pulled me back in. That being you, Chewbacca, because this was the first year in like 20 years I was not going to do a survivor pool, which, if you don't know what survivor pool is, you pick a different team to win each week. And once you pick a team that loses, you're out for the season. Chewbacca has run one for many years, gives himself a lot of work. And I want to know why. Why do you do this, and what started it?
I think what started was I just have always been a pool guy. I've always liked doing pools, but it becomes like I feel like it's expected of me. Like I could just say, "Oh, to hell with this." People are paying the ass because for a couple of years, collections were a real pain in the butt. I'd be going to the mailbox every day. This person said the check's in the mail. It's not in the mail. That's going back to before Venmo, before which I don't take for other reasons now. And it sucked the fun out of it. And I was like ready to give it up. Maybe, I don't know, like I'm patting myself on the, I'm a very selfless person. I really, really am. If I know that people are out there, especially, or even I should say, if they're strangers, because there's plenty of people in my pool now. I have no idea. I'm getting checks from Oklahoma. I'm getting checks with return address from like some freaking news channel in Fort Lauderdale. I have no idea how these people found me, but I look at it like these are my people.
Um, I hope it's Alex Jones from Newsmax just sending you checks.
Alex Jones.
Uh,
Alex Jones.
So you want
No.
that? So what I'm hearing, Chewbacca, is that you feel like a pull, like a Batman like pull, like a sense of responsibility. Like at the end of your life, do you want that to be your epitaph? Like your name, he ran some great pools.
It was some great pools.
Yeah, when I see the dollar sign signal in the sky, I know it's time to send that check. Mail that check like it's 1985 to Chewbacca.
It's like, you know what? July runs around and then it'll be late July and I start getting emails from random people and I'm looking in my inbox and it's like I'm like in Lion King, it is time.
My favorite thing about this is that you you give yourself you it's like you put yourself in a situation where people are going to piss you off and then they piss you off and like you fly off the handle and it's so great. You give yourself a lot of work because I remember years ago it was the Super Bowl that the Saints won with Drew Brees and you were hosting and it was at your place and you do the Super Bowl questionnaire with like
Yeah.
freaking 100 questions or whatever. And
No, it's 12 questions.
12? I
It
don't know,
felt
whatever it
like
is.
more. I was at the
Maybe it's
same party.
13,
It
14. I
felt
don't
like
know.
it felt like more than that.
It felt like more than that. In the entire first half, you were like checking boxes like a fifth grade math teacher, like checking them. You weren't even watching the game. It's like your favorite day of the year.
Well, I think I've told the story to JD because he's a Bears fan, but the year that against the Colts, uh, Devin Hester returned the Rex Grossman Super Bowl. Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
JD
Well, I
remembers
didn't
that
look
one,
up
right,
for,
JD?
and that party
Oh
had
yeah,
like 50. There was like 50 people at that party. I had 50 sheets. Literally, I didn't look up again at the TV until there was like 4 minutes left in the first half. Because I was just because that him returning the opening kickoff answered like 9 questions. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm marking 450 things because there's 50 sheets. And I'm like, the fuck with this. And then people will talk about like earlier today, my kids were talking about the Rihanna when she was pregnant halftime show. And I'm like,
yeah,
why don't I remember that? And Marietta's like, because you were probably
You're
marking your
kidding.
fucking questionnaires.
exactly. But let's go back to the eliminator pool for a second. So something I noticed that I find to be complete degenerate behavior is in your pool, you allow people who are selecting one team per week. You are allowing people to have multiple handles. So there's one gentleman, I think he's got maybe 10
Yeah.
handles in there.
Parker. Parker's got 10.
Like
Freaking Parker.
once
I
you
don't
put more than 4 or 5, you should have professional help show up at your house. A therapy session at the very least. Like something's wrong in your life
But
if
look,
you
if the
have that
pot,
many handles.
you think about pot odds, okay? If the pot's going to be about $6,500,
pot
you
odds.
know, you put $250 in, you have a much better chance of either one of you guys put in. Actually, I don't have either one of your fucking money, but
Exactly. I
hopefully
need to
that
buy
check comes
stamps
soon.
first.
I know if I took Venmo or Zelle or Apple Pay, I'd
I
have it
have the
like in
horse
a
and
second.
buggy outside waiting to go to your house.
Chewbacca, in my opinion, entering a pool multiple times is like saying, I love gambling, but not accountability at all. I mean, that's not an entry. Like the multiple thing is not an entry. It's an insurance policy against your own stupidity. I,
Yeah,
I b- fully believe that.
well,
Of course it
You
is.
are hedging.
but also, I don't think it's about the money because I think most people enter any pool thinking of this as a donation. This isn't a chance to
Yes.
win. This is a donation. And I
Yes.
think it's that people enjoy it so much. And, you get 2 picks, three, if you have 2 or 3 handles, that's it. You could lose week one and then you're done. I don't think it's so much as, oh, I got a better chance to win the cash. I think it's just, I got a better chance to have more fun and stick around and make it to week 10 or week 11. But then to your point, a guy, uh, one of his handles used to be Hillary's penis, Rockaway Medium. He's got a whole bunch of crazy, he's got a bunch of handles this year. Vaxed with 2 X's, Vaxed with 3 X's. Random dude, like really good guy. But
Seems
one
like a
year,
Sounds like a
great.
blast.
week one, week one, he put all 8 handles on the same team. And it was a road team, I think, and they lost. And I'm like, how do you not put at least one handle on even the other team that the team was playing,
Yeah.
just to
Diversify your
guarantee you make it to
portfolio.
what's up?
Diversify your portfolio. Hedge.
Diverse,
Yeah.
exactly. But to each their own. I didn't win though. I've never. I think I won $1,000 in a redemption pool online years ago, but I really never win. So I donate my money too.
So let's talk about L's. Our L's of the week, a new segment we're introducing here on the pod where we each pick one player, coach, fan, whatever it is. It just has to be related to football in some way that we think is the biggest loser of the week. Okay. So, JD, we'll start with you. Who's your L of the week?
No surprise here. It's been covered by everyone at this point. But Jalen Carter, right out of the gate, opening night. So this is an easy one. This is a layup. Nothing says NFC East football like a saliva exchange before the coin toss. Am I right, gentlemen?
Well, I thought it was playing. Oh, the first spit was before the coin toss. You're right.
Yeah, let's keep up here. Chewbacca. Yeah, work with me here. All right, so we're already into spit etiquette on game one here. So Dak claims he was spitting near his team, not on anyone. Jalen took it like Dak violated the Geneva Convention and went freaking nuclear with retaliatory spit. The Cowboys turned another man's saliva into a touchdown. Carter not being there truly opened up a lane for Dallas to repeatedly, especially on that drive, that first drive, exploit the middle in the rushing attack for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Lastly, fellas, before you react, I just want to say usually the Cowboys choke in December, but this year the Eagles spit in September. So that's it.
You know what? I think it's maybe it could have been tactical, right? If you get under the skin of the best player on the other team and get him to lose his cool.
Oh yeah.
My son's soccer coach, because my son would like argue and fight and like defend his teammates, and the coach told him, "It's like, listen, the other team is trying to get you off the field." Like
Yeah,
he's like,
definitely.
when I would play, the coach would come up to me and say, "Go stick your finger in that guy's butt." Literally. And and
And
and
let me
then
sniff it.
he was he would do it, and then the guy would hit him, and then the guy would get ejected because the ref wouldn't see the first part.
Always the
You
Okay.
know,
second guy.
so it's apples to apples. I think the
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah. Apples to anuses. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
for sure.
that's a good big L. I mean, you let your teammates down.
Yeah.
I had to go back to the Survivor. I had the Eagles, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is my whole household had the Eagles that night. We just couldn't. That's degeneracy. You can't wait to get to Sunday that you just fall in love with the Thursday game, and it's like, listen, there's no way the Cowboys are going to win this game, and then that happens, and then the whole game is competitive. It was never more. I'm pretty sure it was never more than a one-score game. It was back and forth and back
Yeah.
and forth.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Wish
so
I could tell you. I'm so focused on the spit. It's running through my head all game long.
It was before the first snap of the game.
Unreal.
yeah,
Okay,
my big
Chewbacca, how about
L,
you?
my big L, the Giants. You know, I had heard. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard that the Giants are the first team to 3 seasons in a row, their opening week, not score a touchdown. And that was the first time that that's happened since like the 40s or something. For last season, they were good enough to be 30th in the league with 291 yards per game. Today they had about 230. So they were 60 below their 30th ranked average last year. Big L, New York Giants. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long uh, taint kicking season
Yeah, I mean,
to your
given those numbers, I don't blame the fans for calling Dart's name. Like, give us something to cheer about. Give us something to be excited
Yeah.
about because
something. The
God
rules are
knows it's
so
been years.
shifted to the offense to not be able to get the ball through the. I mean, that's like us ignoramuses who watch soccer and say, "How can you not put that little ball in that big, huge net?" You know, it's like, how can you not score a touchdown? Everybody's scoring touchdowns.
That's what we do in the NFL. Yes.
Not, not, not the
Yeah,
Giants.
it's hard to argue with either of those. Mine is a little bit more personal. My L of the week is me. This notwithstanding the Jets jersey. So I'm in a few fantasy leagues, right? So one particular league I'm in is a super flex league. It's essentially a 2 quarterback league, right? So you go to the draft last week, and there's this very fun individual, I'll say, like life of the party type, but he doesn't take it all too seriously. So he proceeded to draft Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like every friggin' good quarterback, like every top 5 quarterback in the league. And by the way, you can only start 2 of them. And then it's
You
an
start two
auction.
of them.
Yeah, you can only start 2 of them. You can start 2 quarterback league. So because he spent all of his auction money, it's an auction draft, on these guys, he had no money for any other players. Right? So he's filling out his lineup with like Tyler Algier, Cedric Tillman, Hollywood Brown. Like these are his starters. People in the league were pissed. It was a whole thing. Like people wanted him to be like kicked out of the league. I am playing him right now, and I'm gonna fucking lose to him. I'm gonna lose to this motherfucker who's starting Cedric Tillman, Hollywood Brown, Woody Marks, who I don't think he even got to 10 yards rushing. Woody Marks, the backup running back on the Texans. I was winning by 17, and he had Josh Allen and I think Thielen to go. And I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to look at it because I know it's going to happen. And I was told, oh, Joe, like looks like you got the automatic win week 1. No automatic wins in fantasy. There is no automatic wins in fantasy. That's why I am taking the L in a big fat way this week.
How many teams you got? How many leagues are you in? You're not in one of these douchebags who's in like 4 or 5, are you?
4.
4? Are you kidding me? 4?
Yeah, I got my all-time high this year. I'm in 5 now.
You what? 5?
No, I can't. I'm going out of my head.
JD, please tell me one is like a family fun league with like Nana and Uncle Carmine or some shit like that. Like, please.
Uncle
please.
June. Yeah.
Uncle June. 5? You got to be starting guys against your own guys.
I mean, like,
yeah. One of the leagues
5?
I will say this, Baca, you are close. It is called the Sunday Sauce League. So you are you hit the nail on the head though. You're not that far off there with Nona and Uncle June. My biggest fear at like 12:59 p.m. today was I forgot to set my lineup, like, or I forgot this or I forgot that. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I have, who I don't have. It's a mess.
Yeah, I forget who I have in what leagues. But there's a particular reason why each of them exists. I don't want to do more. I definitely do not want to do more. But there's a specific reason why each one is important to me. Okay, well, hey, Jets suck, Giants suck. However, I still love the game of football. Again, check us out on Instagram at The Forced Fumble or on YouTube at Forced Fumble. Subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to hear about on this show. And for JD and Chewbacca, we'll see you in the next episode of The Forced Fumble.